So, Guru Nanak showed the way to yoga. His own ways, his own methods, what was possible for many around him. His methods may not be anywhere close to what we understand yoga to be traditionally. But his approach was very simple. Remove duality from your life. You can remain a grahastha, a householder, while you practice sannyasa, renunciation. There is no need to pretend to be something that you are not. You can be who you are and consciously focus on removing duality from your life. Establish Advaitam, non-duality. Gautam Buddha, he went one more step ahead. Gautam Buddha was a phenomenon that happened 2000 plus years prior to Nanak, and he demonstrated yoga not just by fearlessness and simplicity, but also by another virtue of karuna. So what is karuna? Karuna in its simplest translation is compassion. It is karuna that Gautama could channel, express, radiate, that converted an Angulimala, the murderer, dacoit, living in solitude in the jungle, looting and killing any and every passerby, got converted to a monk with just one meeting. That is not just fearlessness. It is fearlessness armed with karuna. So what is karuna? How do I know? How do you know karuna? Compassion is what you will have for an infant who will unknowingly spit on you, who will probably piss on you, or even slap you on your face. Even though it is you who's carrying the infant in your arms. You don't punish that infant. You don't take offense like you do with somebody else. So karuna is not kindness. It is compassion from a deep understanding of existence itself. Dvaitam, duality, cannot get you there. Fearlessness, compassion, these are not things that you can pretend. These are not things that you can fake. It doesn't work here. Today the world is full of fakes anyway. What are the chances any of them are going to make it? So your benign smile has to be genuine. If it comes from your deep understanding and unity with existence, you don't need to put it on. It will be there. Let me give you an experience. Close your eyes. Whatever mood you are sitting in, I don't care. Now if you are a parent, close your eyes and think of your child, whoever, whichever, all of them if you want, when the child was about 2 years old. If you're not a parent, but you've had a pet, think of a puppy or a cat, just a few days old. Usually, the moment you have visualized any of this, you would have a very, very beautiful smile on your face. Some of these smiles could have even been a beam. So you were beaming the moment you recalled this memory. Was it genuine or you put on a smile? So people who have experienced Advaitam, non-dualistic existence, and can recreate it at will, or remain in Advaitam forever or most of the times. So one attribute is they are fearless, full of compassion. They are peaceful, calm, quiet, centered, seem to be in bliss. So kind of getting a hang of what yoga could mean. But what about Raja Yoga? Where is the Raja coming from? Raja means king. So king's yoga. So what makes them kings? In what way? While Guru Nanak's story demonstrated his being the king very, very subtly when he said, I have everything I need. Buddha demonstrated exactly the same thing. He says, well, take all that you want. Take whatever it is that I have. No problems. But the monk, Siddhartha Gautam, did not have anything worth taking except for his life. So Angulimala said, okay, so be it, I will take your life. And Buddha was willing to give it without resistance. The king of kings that he was willing to give up his life. To satiate somebody's need, greed, fear out of pure compassion. So Raja Yoga. Another Buddha of our times who demonstrated the true virtue, sentiments, expressions of Raja Yoga is Adi Shankaracharya. Who was Shankara? A Brahmin boy who took sannyasa at the age of 16 and took samadhi at the age of 32. Roughly that is what I have read. So was he rich, wealthy, full of money, wielded some power, had an army of 10,000 elephants and 100,000 soldiers, a chariot that could run at the speed of the winds? Did he have any of this? No, of course not. And yet this man travels the length and breadth of the Indian subcontinent, debates, wins over and converts people, converts staunch orthodox practitioners, convinces them, inspires them to join up a movement called the Sanatan Dharma, aimed at re-establishing the glory of the Veda. How many millions do you need or can you have to accomplish something like this in today's time? Done by one man, one sannyasi. Of course he had a lot of aids. Of course he had a lot of help. All those helps were not prerequisite for what he accomplished. He stood up for what he believed in. He stood up for what inspired him to do something, and people joined up. Fearless? Yes. Compassion? Yes. Raja Yoga? What better example can you get? No less an achiever. If this is not achievement, then I really want to know how we want to define achievement. And if all of this is possible with yoga, why the hell would you want to pursue anything else? If yoga can give you everything, just everything. I mean, today's time, whatever hero you might have, world's richest people or Fortune 500 or whatever it is, none of them can achieve any of what these men could accomplish. Nowhere close to it. Even if you had all the powers of the greatest nations in the world, you can't. Yeah, you can destroy a lot of things. You can corrupt people and cause further destruction, but can you inspire people? Somebody might argue that, oh, but I don't want to be a Guru Nanak or I don't want to be an Adi Shankaracharya. What are you talking about? My aspirations are not that. Well, I did tell you at some stage in this conversation that you have no idea as to what's possible. So your aspirations are very, very poorly, horribly underplayed because we don't know what really is possible with this life. And none of these people were anything exceptional when they started. Responding further to this argument that not everybody aspires to be a Gautam Buddha or Guru Nanak or an Adi Shankaracharya. Well, the thing is that you have a life, I have a life. So are we living life in the same way or method? No. You have a phone, smartphone. You have access to internet. I have a smartphone. I have access to internet. Are we using it in the same fashion? No. You can access YouTube, I can access YouTube, watch videos and shorts there. So can you, but are we watching the same content? No. Similarly, when you learn to access yoga, you will use that access differently from all the people that we have mentioned in this program so far. Each one will express yoga, experience of yoga in his or her own unique ways. Now, of course, we are having a very detailed, in-depth conversation about yoga. I am not asking you to memorize all of this. I am asking you to just be with me in this conversation. Whatever you retain will be of value to you. And even if in this pursuit, many of us merely touch the surface of an experience of yoga, an experience of Advaitam, all your in-depth understanding, our conversation about some of its possibilities will all come to your aid and enhance your experience. We are suffering life quite unnecessarily because of our ignorance. And those who have been responsible for educating us are in this suffering as well. So they taught what they knew, or they taught what was their job to teach, not because they believed in it, but because it gave them their salaries. Like you and I have been working for corporates, performing different tasks, not because we believed in the tasks, but because it gave you the monthly paycheck. In the subsequent episodes, we will explore each of the 8 limbs of Raja Yoga in detail.